Welcome everyone to Beyond's 3 Secrets to Boost Your Technology or Software Business Valuation. I'm Lori Wiggins, CEO of Byond, and I have here with me Hector Del Castillo, Chief Product Officer of Byond. Hector, how are you?
Doing great, Lori. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Great. We look forward to your presentation. Before we get started, we have a few housekeeping rules that we employ to make the listening experience good for everyone. First, everyone is in listen-only mode throughout the entire discussion to ensure the best audio quality for everyone. And if you encounter any audio issues, please refresh your browser and check your audio settings. Submit your questions anytime using the chat window, and we'll answer them during the Q&A portion or fit them in during the presentation as it makes sense. We're recording today's session, and we'll share a link to the video after the live session. So feel free to keep up with us on Twitter at BeyondMA, at Lori J. Wiggins, and at HM Del Castillo, or on our LinkedIn page, bit.ly/BeyondMNA. And finally, special thanks to Scott Taylor, who does our video editing and producing. He always does a great job. At this juncture, I will turn the presentation over to Hector Del Castillo. Hector, take it away.
Thank you so much, Lori, and welcome everyone. Today's discussion is going to be focusing on this type of CEOs. CEOs that are done building their business and want somebody to continue to take over and run the business. CEOs that want to take care of their staff, ensure their IP is used properly as well. And also for CEOs that need to sell fast, because somehow you may have multiple owners and maybe one or more of your owners are now looking to exit. And now you need to find somebody else to bring in to continue running the business. These are 3 different segments, 3 different exit situations. And we're going to talk more about this. If this is one of you, welcome. Also, we said that we would, today we were going to cover these 2 things. Number 1, understanding how you can maximize the valuation of your business, especially if you're a technology or software company, and what to do to make it happen. How do you get started today to ensure that you begin to prepare to exit and be prepared to exit the business? Does this sound like you? You worked hard for years to build a business and that you're ready to cash out. You need to sell in 2020 because ... or you are deeply committed to taking care of your staff and ensure proper use of your intellectual property and preserve the legacy that is your business. If so, we're going to be talking about a few steps as to how you can maximize your business valuation in preparation for exit. There's nothing for sale today. Our goal is to simply inform you, add value by informing you on the things that you need to be aware in order to are the steps to prepare your business to exit successfully. And we have a useful gift for you at the end, so be sure to stick around. Who are we? Well, Lori is Chief Executive Officer at Byond, and she's worked with technology and software businesses for a few decades, over 30 years. Also has helped businesses grow their revenue, and also loves to work with CEOs to get maximum valuation for their business. She's a Virginia Tech graduate, and in her spare time, she loves to sing and travel with her husband and family. A little bit more about myself. I've also worked with technology and software companies for over 30 years. I also love to and enjoy working with executives and preparing them to figure out how to exit or acquire businesses. And I've been doing this for over 10 years. I'm a graduate of UC Santa Barbara, UT El Paso as well. And I love playing soccer and being outdoors and running, hiking, and walking. So let's move on to talk about how to maximize your business valuation and the steps that you need to do to ensure that you begin preparing if you are looking to exit your business in the next few months. And we're going to talk about this process that has three different steps, three different secrets as to how you can maximize the valuation of your business in preparation to exit. We're going to talk about each one of these and talk about how they impact the valuation of your business. So first off, we're going to start with, understanding why do you need to sell, and understanding what are the type of right buyers based on your situation. And it has to do with understanding the current situation within your company, its ownership, what's happening in your industry and the market today, and figuring out what are the right buyers and what do they look like, who are these buyers, and make sure you have clarity on those, because it's not just any buyer. You want a very specific type of buyer, especially if you're looking at what is your situation for exiting your business. Those three things that I spoke about earlier, those are three different exit situations, and you need to make sure that you match your specific exit situation to the right type of buyer, and make sure you have clarity on that. And then from there, you're going to start looking at to what should be the right agreement that you accept when somebody makes you a solicited or an unsolicited offer, and what are the right terms and conditions that you should be looking for before you accept and sign off on that. Make sure you have the right terms and conditions before you move on. And this is how you have clarity on this. Make sure that you can meet the objective of the reason why you're exiting your business. Then the second piece is understanding, do you have any things that would be barriers, or maybe some objections, would raise objections from the buyer's point of view? And that has to do with looking at ensuring that your business is not over dependent on any of these things, that your business is not overly dependent on one or maybe a handful of customers when you have already hundreds or thousands of customers. Make sure you're not over dependent on one or several major suppliers that are bigger than you, and that you want to make sure that you have long-term relationships and you can actually compete your supply chain. You have access to different ways that you can actually go to different suppliers at different times. And also that your business is not overly dependent on you as the owner, or not overly dependent on any of the owners if you have co-founders, co-owners of your business. And finally, that the business itself is not overly dependent on specific people that end up being part of your management team. Any of these things will be red flags from a buyer's point of view, and they want to make sure that you overcome those objections before you even begin conversations with a prospective buyer. Finally, you can also look at unlocking your business wealth, and that is looking at understanding and empathizing with the buyer point of view. Once you know that you're looking for a very specific type of buyer, understand their point of view and make sure you are upfront with the things that they may be deemed as possible sources of objections, but also make sure that you facilitate by understanding their expected journey in order for them to actually successfully buy your company so you can quickly exit. By doing this, you'll be able to identify common gaps that you need to close before your organization goes into the market, but also look for low-hanging fruit opportunities that you can then quickly increase the valuation of your business from the perspective of your target buyers. These are all things that you want to do well ahead of time in preparation before you actually put your company on the market or before you accept an unsolicited offer. So these are the three secrets as to what you can do. Things that you got to look at all three as three separate swim lanes. Often you might need to have not one, but multiple teams. And this is, if you have ever done this is more than a full-time job. In addition to you running the business and the business continuing to run as usual, you want to make sure that you can cover all three of these in preparation for an exit that maximizes your business valuation. And we can get into the steps as to what you can do today, because we're going to talk about two different ways that you can actually maximize and prepare your business to maximize valuation in preparation for an exit. There is the hard way. And the hard way means that you may do any combination of these. You may need to become an expert in mergers and acquisitions, attend expensive seminars and conferences, join maybe multiple mastermind groups, in addition to hiring expensive consultants. This is the hard way, and this may actually be doable, but it may take time and may take you away from running the business. And often may need to have a separate team to actually focus on this once you're clear that you want to exit soon. The easy way is to follow our methodology and our framework to figure out how to quickly raise the valuation of your business by understanding the right things that give you, it's the 80-20 rule, how you can focus on 20% of your efforts that will give you the maximum impact on raising the valuation of your business very quickly, and then focus on those things that matter most from the buyer's point of view. And we're going to talk more about how to follow this methodology in a minute. So let's review. Today, we promised that we would cover all the steps that you need to ensure to prepare your company to maximize valuation in preparation for exit, and talk to you about what you can do today to begin making it happen. This is how we can help you. We can help you get clarity on 3 different things if you're looking at possibly exiting your business in the next few months. Number 1, we can help you understand how much work it will take to get your business sold. Number 2, we can help you and understand what you need to do to maximize the money that goes into your pocket as you're exiting. And we can also help you assess how ready your business is today for an exit or for sale. Any of these things are the things that often we find may be challenges if you haven't not done this before. So first thing we're going to offer is we have a limited space, and you can actually set up a free appointment to talk to us for half hour on if you're in that situation where you need to exit in the next few months. And you can set up an appointment by following this particular short URL, bit.ly Byond APPT. And that information is being sent and be shared with you via chat. So you don't have to write it down. You can simply take it from the chat as it's being shared with you. So you can sign up and pick a date and time when you want to talk to us for free, and at least understand your current situation and identify ways that we can help you if you're looking to exit in the next few months. We can also consider signing up for a workshop that we're looking at implementing in the first quarter of 2021. And that may be a live online, maybe a combination of live online in addition to in person if we can get to that point by first quarter of 2021. But if you're interested in signing up for a workshop where we can walk you through the framework that I explained to you earlier, that allows you to assess all those areas that are part of understanding what you need to do to prepare your business for exit, you can send us an email and we can give you more information once we announce this upcoming workshop. You can write an email to us to solutions@byondma.com, and this email is also being shared with you via the chat, so you don't have to write it down. You can just take it from the chat itself. And also, we want to announce that next month in December, we are organizing a set of Ask Me Anything sessions. And in December, we're going to spend time that if you're looking to either scale your business quickly, successfully acquire other businesses, or successfully exiting your business, these are sessions that are coming up in December. These are free to attend, and post-event, we will send you information as to where you can sign up for any of these sessions that are coming up next month. Just wanted to let you know, give you a heads up. If you're interested in any of these 3 specific things, these are opportunities that you can actually talk to us and bring your questions, maybe even your current situation, and we can quickly at least point you in the right direction for any of these types of situations. And with that, I believe we're ready for Q&A. So Lori, I wasn't really sure if we have any questions from the audience, but at this point, we're ready to do Q&A.
We do. The first question that we have is, what types of employees do you want to retain? Does the buyer want to remain with the company? Can you talk about those types of employees and also what you do to incentivize them to stick around?
That's a great question. And actually, this talks about overdependence, that overdependence issue. You need to identify key staff, and often you need to identify them first and find out if they want to remain. And often you have to have these conversations in full confidentiality so that those people don't disclose information to the rest of the organization. And often you may actually need help in figuring out how to actually conduct that. Once you have identified essential personnel that is critical from the buyer's point of view for them to remain in operating the company for some time, find out, what are they looking for, and make sure that it's clearly documented as to what are the things that need to be done, because often you need to provide those type of incentives to key personnel that is considered essential for them to remain for some time after the sale is accomplished. And often all of this information is part of preparation, because often you need to understand these by having these confidential conversations with your essential personnel if they're not owners of the company itself.
Great, thank you. Also, you spoke about common gaps that companies have, and perhaps you could expand on those gaps more and what you need to do to address those gaps.
Sure. So let me put it this way. At a high level, any strategy to execution gap is usually may often be, deal killers from the buyer's point of view. So what you need to do is at least identify the gaps and figure out which of those you can close, prioritize those gaps, and figure out what are the ones that can be closed within the time that you're looking to actually prepare your company. And the rest, want to make sure that at least you disclose that information upfront to the buyer so that they know that if you're going to sell the company with these particular strategy to execution gaps, that they're clearly identified, and it's about disclosure upfront to the buyer in order to expedite the actual information, and at least they know what to expect and how to prepare in the way that they would follow up if they decide to move on with the sale. So often, this is a straight gap analysis that needs to be done with your business, and at least be informed as to what are the major gaps, and that actually the type of buyer you're looking for would consider either a deal killer, but at least often, come up with a workaround or address the gap before you actually go to market with your company. Often some of these gaps may actually be a combination of these things that you can actually close them before you go to market. Often it may be that just close them because you just try to resolve them and come up with a workaround from the buyer's point of view.
Thank you. And then one more question is that the person posing this question indicated that they are exiting for the first time. So they don't really have a lot of experience doing this. And so their question is, do you work with people like this? Do we work with people like this? And how do we work with them when they're in this position?
So the answer is yes, we work with people who are first time, this is the first time exiting. And actually be aware that, this is exactly why we offer their services, because we realize that people that haven't done this before, they often end up not knowing what they don't know. And often they make lots of mistakes. And by the time they're done, they've left a lot of money on the table as they're exiting. And this is because often, many of the buyers that give you an unsolicited offer or that come to you with something that sounds great at the high level, often they have terms and conditions and clauses in that offer that you need to be aware if you haven't done this before. And often this is why you need somebody who has done this before in making sure that you're looking for this type of information and ensure that you're well prepared to know what to expect and not react, but actually anticipate some of the things that you're bound to find based on the type of offer that you have and the type of buyer that it's coming from. These are all the things that we can help you understand up front as we are working with you in preparing you, helping you prepare your company for a successful exit.
Thank you, Hector. Those were great answers. And just a word about us. Byond, we so enjoy working with CEOs and founders. And our goal is always to make a very important impact within any organization that will really help move people forward. We assist with company mergers and acquisitions, as well as scaling fast growth for companies. So here's our contact information. Contact us. We'd love to have a conversation with you. Hector, did you have anything else before we end the webinar?
I just want to thank the audience and thank you for this particular discussion. And if you have any questions, be sure to reach out to us, set up a time when we can talk, and we will be more than glad to set up a date and time when we can just, find out what your current situation is and see how we can help you.
Thank you, everyone, for attending today's webinar. We look forward to seeing you soon. Stay well.